Yes, I am one of those people who watch Love is Blind. All right, don't judge me, okay? Season 7 is a mess. I know it is. But I actually watched the UK version. The UK Love is Blind version is really good. There's a particular couple. My name is Demi Brown and his name is Ole Sutherland. And other than me being obsessed with their accents, I thought their connection was really deep. What really drew me into them as a couple was when she talked about her having endometriosis.
Because it's hard for me to naturally conceive. Because I've got endometriosis.
You know, it got me to thinking, how soon do we tell our potential long-term significant others what's going on with our yonis, our wombs, particularly those of us with PCOS, endometriosis, fertility issues, heavy bleeding, periods, all kinds of stuff that goes on that men don't always understand. Like, how soon do we tell them that? Why I thought this couple was interesting was Demi got really emotional while they were still in the pods when she was telling him, this is what I gotta tell you. And then she's describing, you know, her experience of having endometriosis, how sometimes she can be in pain, and this could lead to fertility problems. She wants to be a mom, but this could hinder it. His response was golden. When I say golden, it was golden.
Apart from feeling sorry that you have to go through that, I want you to know that it doesn't change anything about the way I feel about you or how I feel about our futures. It actually just made me think, this person's amazing. And as long as we've got each other, that's the main thing. Anything else that comes around is a bonus.
I believe he said, you're more than enough, because she didn't feel like she was enough. I think a lot of times women that have fertility issues, they don't think they're enough, because in our brains and our minds growing up, this is what we are meant to do, is to give birth, have children, and this should be simple. It's a natural thing. When in reality, it's not always natural for a lot of women. And the thing is if we're growing up thinking, sometimes fearing pregnancy because we don't want to get pregnant, it's like the idea of it not being possible makes no sense to us as kids, as young people, even as young adults. So when the time comes when you want to have kids and you're dealing with fertility issues, it's a shock and then possibly a little bit of embarrassment. I think sometimes the embarrassment may come from family members because, like, well, what's wrong with you? Is it something wrong with you, or is it just not a natural progression or a natural thing for you? And some of us, like myself, who've had fertility issues, it's not something that we should be ashamed of. We are enough. When it comes to like expressing to someone that you may possibly have these issues fertility wise, it can be tricky. It can be tricky because you don't know what their response is. I found that most people are very kind and understanding. I think this is a very different world we're living in, and couples understand that having babies naturally isn't always as simple. I think the days of, well, you're supposed to, and what's wrong with you type of stuff, it's starting to change. I ain't saying it's changed, it's starting to. And his response of saying that she was enough and that anything that comes beyond them is, you know, a bonus, it's very realistic. Because what if you are a couple who cannot afford, if you're a couple who cannot afford in vitro or other fertility options, and you are dealing with something like endometriosis, or, you know, you don't have eggs, or your uterus is too small to carry. There's so many reasons why women have fertility issues. Like, these are things that are natural. Like, when do you tell your partner this? So, truth be told, if I'm dating someone, I'm not going to say on the first day, yeah, hi, nice to meet you, I have PCOS, I've had a few miscarriages before, so having a baby might be tough for me. That's not our first conversation, okay, let me be very clear. But I think when I start to see where this is going, like if it's a long-term type of thing, yeah, sure, I will probably open up and be like, this is where I'm at. And you need to know this. If you want a future with me, this is a possible struggle that we're going to go through. Is that okay with you? And be okay with his or her answer. Because if it's not, that's okay. That's just not your person. It's not your person. If they're like, yo, I'm riding. If you riding, then ride. What's up? You know what I mean? But I saw this scene and it just warmed my heart, because I don't think it's always easy for people to open up like that and talk about something as personal as fertility. Because again, growing up, we're thinking this is something that we have to avoid as much as possible till it's time to get married and pop out some kids, because that's so easy. The truth of the matter is, when you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm one of those women that have fertility issues, it's a bit of shame and heaviness that comes with it, if I'm speaking honestly. I know when I started dating my now boo-boo, my hubby, I told him very early on, because we were just friends for a very long time, I think a little over a year. And then when we started seeing each other and things were getting serious, and I said, this is where I'm at fertility wise, and I'm in my 30s and this is what I want to be able to do, but there's a chance we may not be able to have kids because I have PCOS, I've had miscarriages, and this is where I'm at family wise. And his response was wonderful too. He's like, who said you can't have a kid? I said, well, no one said I couldn't. It just said it's going to be difficult. He said, then we'll get through the difficult. Should be nicer to him, right? But he's my person. I had an ex, the boy, saying to me, I'm glad you can't have kids because then I wouldn't have to pay child support after we broke up. Like, those type of words struck me so hard. Like, I'm glad you couldn't have kids. It's audacity. Like, it's just mean. And then just saying things like, we would have worked out if we had a kid. Like, he just got so cruel after a while. And, he wasn't my person. He's not sexy either. And it's just, it's something that made me so uncomfortable throughout the years. I thought, this is how all men are going to be. It's how all men are going to treat me, as though I am not worthy. I'm not worth marrying. I'm not worth dating because I can't do this so-called natural thing. And it's a relief to any man to kind of come and go because, hey, there's no link to him and I if we don't have a child. Well, that's not the truth. Sometimes, even if you don't have a child, the link is still there. The connection's still there. It's still you if it's your person. You know what I mean? A lot of times people remarry, they've already had kids with other people. So you're saying that it has to be a child to keep you connected? That's not true. So it's you and your person. I still say when dating, and if you're dealing with things fertility wise, like endometriosis and PCOS and uterus issues, eggs, having a need, extra help, having a baby, I say wait till like it's getting serious to talk to that person. And I wouldn't say wait till you fall in love, because that's going to be even harder if they kind of reject who you are, right? Because that is a part of you. Fertility is a part of us. It doesn't make us good or bad people. It's just a part of us, right? So I do want to conclude by saying that I just absolutely love Love is Blind UK. It was a very interesting season. Interesting. Shout out to Demi Brown. Demi. Okay, let's stop because I'm probably doing the accent completely wrong, but shout out to her and of course Ollie as well. Ollie Sutherland, I think his name is, for just being vulnerable, open, and honest about this conversation that I think all of us should have when we're meeting people and dating and talking about serious things such as becoming parents one day. Because if it's a step that you want to take, and it could be a few different difficult steps, you want to get to know if that person and you are on the same page before you take it to the next step. Now again, I wouldn't fall in love and then like last minute say, by the way, just be honest up front, because his or her answer will be your answer. Till next time. Meanwhile, for all my endo girls, I love you so much. Here is a code at the bottom to get yourself some, self-care stuff on the bath page on your Mac website. Go ahead and get yourself like a body scrub or wash. Get some yoni oil, whatever you need to do, because I love you and I support you and I stand with you. Till next time, y'all, it's Yoni Mac.